welcome to another episode of Legion Elite Motorsports. I'm your host Isaiah, and today on Starquest Help is our farewell episode for the yellow Starquest Help. We've got a lot done in general, and everything on my end is complete. So the owner's going to come pick up the car and final details on the car as far as wiring, battery, location, and mounting, and all of that stuff. So we're going to dive into that, and also it's going to be kind of a blended episode because we got a new item for the Mirage. So stay tuned. Let's jump into it. Okay, so I redid the fuel rail to where it's more stable and not moving everywhere. I tested the fuel rail at 56 psi, no leaks, and then I lowered the fuel pressure to 40, and yeah, we are ready to tune. Also, I am receiving 14 volts from the alternator, so that is working perfectly. You see it down there doing its thing. So yep, everything is in order. Now when I tune the car, it'll be more proper and more accurate because it's at the proper voltage. So we're gonna take it for a spin. So I've been driving this car for the past 4 hours, and holy cow, what an experience. This thing really moves. Fuel tank situation, it's still clogging up the tiny filter and everything. So what I told him to do, you have two options with that type of scenario because it is like a fine sand, red dirt, whatever. And you can get a filter to collect it all out of the tank without having to drop the tank and clean it and, all of that. And you can actually have it collect in a couple filters and it would be good to go after that. So that would probably be the easiest way to go about that, especially because the fill neck, before I changed it, was probably the culprit why so much sand was getting in there. Because before, when you fill up the gas, it used to pour out, not drip, pour, like all your money going in the trash, pretty much. So now that that's been replaced, all of the sand that got in through that hole that was on the fill neck, especially in Arizona, took its toll, and there's a decent amount of sand in there. But I believe if you pop in a couple filters, change them every week for 3 weeks, it should clean it all out technically. But I'm gonna leave it up to the owner and have him dive in on that. But in general, this car is a rocket ship. Holy cow. Okay, so she is finally finished. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go over some of the things that were done, some previous and some current. Okay, so we're gonna start with the previous. Okay, so previous, I installed the suspension for this car myself personally. And this is front and rear with adjustable damper. This is the welded front end. So everything below that is factory. And then after that, beforehand, this car was throttle body injected, and we changed the head. The head is brand new, M28. It's one of the heads that you could purchase off of Amazon. I think it was under $400. This was actually, I think, $3 $360 or $340 shipped to the front door. So I put that in. I also put in the turbo manifold. He got that from someone. I think this is an eBay one or something, but he actually picked this up used. So, you know, he has that. I put that in. I selected the turbo and he popped it on there. Well, I popped the turbo on there, but basically, this turbo is an eBay special. This one cost $120, and I clocked everything and made sure everything fit properly. And I put on the AirMAF translator, because before it was throttle body injected, so we had the AirMAF translator on there. And then we got rid of that. Now we have the solid tube 3-inch, including the 3-inch downpipe. He had the first piece made, and then I welded the exhaust going to the catalytic area. And then after that, I did the intercooler piping. Of course, all of that straight to, comes through there, straight to the throttle body. Then I added in the blow-off valve. I also added in the intercooler, which is right there, looking good. Then I added in this intake manifold, which was hell on wheels. I had to cut some things off. I had to weld, I had to grind and everything to get this to fit properly, but I finally did that. And also had to figure something out for the fuel rail, because he got the unit used and it didn't come with all of the hardware, so we had to do injectors, and I had to figure something out for the fuel rail. So did that. The full standalone computer, of course, which I'm going to show you once we go on the inside. The fuel pressure regulator, the MSD box, the coil. Everything is everywhere because the owner is going to neatly place everything. Only thing I did tuck away, because it's in its permanent position, is the AEM equipment. So that is this guy right here, and it's right here, and that one's tucked away neatly. And besides that, he's going to be running the wires under the manifold and wrapping everything up. Again, I can't reach my hands down there, especially with everything connected, so good luck. And so yeah, so technically this would be for sale because we're not using that at all. You know, so that, you know, can be sold. This still needs to be cut, but after the owner went for a test drive a couple days ago, he said that he'll cut this himself as small potatoes. He's going to do that as he does the wiring and everything. So I'm like, cool. So that's the way it is. AC is working. I also did the alternator. So that's in there, 90 amps. And then after that, open it up here. Okay, so after that, we did the gauge and everything, which he's gonna hook up his laptop to and program however he wants it to go. So that's up to him. Also, the standalone, this is sitting right here for right now because he wants to tuck it back here. So he's gonna have to take this apart and cut what needs to be cut and tuck away the harness. These things are very fragile, and just relocating the battery, this piece decided to pop off. So we have that piece. It was on the floor, but I think it's in the box. But yeah, so it's very fragile. I'm gonna again leave that up to him. We also relocated the battery to the trunk, which I'm gonna show you right now. Just a nice overview of everything that has been done. And again, this is a temporary setup. He's probably gonna move the battery elsewhere. Another reason why I left these wires so long, so he can put it wherever he wants. Also, I adjusted his camber back here, so that is tight and right and everything. He is going to flush out the tank. I installed the fuel pump back there. I'm pretty sure I'm forgetting some things, but a lot of work has been done to this car. And as she's running, I also tuned it, of course, Microtech. So she's turnkey. No issues with the tune, or no falling off, no shaking, no stuttering, or anything of that matter. So that's done. So all he has to do is clean everything up, and he's good to go. And again, if you have a tonneau cover, black, let me know, and I'll let him know so he can get this covered back up. The original one that was back here, he bought some ATF, and on the ride home it spilled, and it soaked all of the carpet back here, like completely, and spilled in the back. I think that's what ate his paint and everything. So yeah, if you have a cover, just let me know and I'll let him know, and we'll kind of take it from there. So now what we're going to do is we're going to give it a start, and I'm going to see if I can hold the camera and show you guys what she can do really quick. Here we go, third gear pull. Whoop. Wow. This car is no joke. So yeah, once he gets the fuel system cleaned up, the pump would be a lot quieter, but because there's sand in the system, we're getting a lot of noise from the fuel pump. But just had to give you guys a test drive, just so you know what type of fun this car is producing. But definitely an amazing piece of machinery. Oh yeah, this car is a beast. Wow. Alright, so I'm gonna park her up. But yes, the owner is definitely gonna have a fun time with this car. And the bottom end is completely stock. Actually, the bottom end has some mileage on it. I think it's 160,000 miles, and she's putting out the type of power she is, which is pretty impressive. This is the same car that put out 22 psi at 3,600 RPM. So yeah, this car is definitely going to be an amazing car. I know he's going to take it to the body shop, get the rest of it put back together. But in general, it's going to be nice. So, you know, I bid this car adieu. We're definitely going to be hanging out in the future. It was fun, and we are moving on to the next project. Okay, so I received another package today, and here it is. Basically it is a spoiler for the Mirage. Goes on, something like that. Nice little duck bill assembly. But what we're gonna do is we're going to trim it up, make sure it fits properly, and attach it to the trunk visa two-sided tape. So let's get to the trimming part. So it's a little too long on both sides, and we have to cut the edge of that off and some of the base back here. So should be simple enough. I'm gonna give it some test cuts to see what it looks like after the cut and take it from there. All right, threw some rattle can on there. Doesn't look too horrible, but if I have a change of heart later, I'll swap this out and no big deal. Not too bad. Hey, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. I'm going to be a little sad to see that car go, but I know it's going to go to a good home, to someone that actually is going to maintain and take care of it. Plus, I'm going to see that car a little bit later anyway. I'm going to be raising the power level once everything gets sorted to the way he likes. I'm going to take it to the next level. So the car should be at home at around 25 psi, and we should be good there. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Don't forget to hit the bell icon for updated notification, and also don't forget to subscribe. So I'll see you guys next one.